This always happens out here. Someone left their car. Found a barrel earlier.
Welcome back to Chill Game Reviews. Today we are going to go on a survival expedition in the southeast region of Chinaris. I got it in my head that DayZ had gotten a little bit too easy for me, and I wanted to give myself a challenge, and I wondered if I could emulate one of my personal heroes, Les Stroud, Survivor Man, and go out to the woods with minimal survival supplies for 7 days and survive and maybe teach a thing or two along the way. So just like that, I decided to craft some rags, make some crates, put my best stuff in those crates, and bury them in the woods where no one was going to find them. So on day one, after burying all of our stuff, we made our way southeast to the general region that we were going to be surviving in for this exercise. We also heard a very welcome sound and went to go investigate a few chickens that had spawned nearby.
And so here we are, we're pretty much in the area, the general area that we want to be. Right now I'm just kind of scouting around, just to see what's available to me. Kind of waiting to see if I hear any sounds from other players or anything interesting. So yeah, just gonna do my diligence and make sure before I start settling down and picking an actual spot to live that it feels safe. There's a mushroom right there. I saw another mushroom on the way here, but that was back towards my actual base, so I think I'm spawning these mushrooms in. I haven't heard anything, and I always take that with a grain of salt. There's no reason to think that the absence of sound is the absence of a player. The presence of sound absolutely equals the presence of a player. It works the other way, but I've been out here for a little while and I haven't made any noise, so that could easily be the case for someone else who's out here not making noise. Here's what we were hoping to find, or what we kind of knew what we were going to find, but it's super important to us having any chance of survival out here. So the sun is going down. We have a lot of stuff to do in this little adventure. So as the sun sets, we're gonna settle down in this bush. And like I said, I'm gonna continue to maybe hang out here, maybe do a little bit of housekeeping stuff, but I'm probably not going to include much of nighttime in the video because there is not going to be anything for you guys to see. You guys can probably hear that it's raining right now. First night out here. Gonna get soaked in the rain. Can't say I'm completely surprised that we're 1 for 1 on nights and rainy nights. So with it raining overnight, it chilled me. You can see the color changed. I believe that's blue on my temperature gauge. What I'm doing right now is wringing the excess water out of my clothes now that it's stopped raining. So I think today, on day 2, Our first order of business is going to be creating a fire. We'll get our clothes dry. We'll cook these 4 chickens and get the plus sign all at once. What we need are, we're going to need short sticks. We're going to need 2 pieces of bark. And I'm going to get 2 pieces. We need one of these pieces for the fire itself, and we're going to use the other piece as to craft a what do they call it? I think they call it is it a fire bow? It's not an actual fire bow. You would need a string for a fire bow, whatever they call it. A hand drill torch. That's what they call it. That's what we're going to create with the second piece of bark. I like to only grab 1 piece of firewood if I can, because if you don't destroy the tree and grab everything, the bush remains here and looks like no one's done anything to it, which is kind of nice. Someone could walk right past that bush and never know that someone has been here and harvesting from it.
To craft everything I just crafted is as follows. A campfire is 1 short stick and a piece of bark. The hand drill kit is a short stick and a piece of bark. You're going to want some extra wood for the fuel for your campfire. The cooking stand is 2 short sticks and 1 long stick.
So a couple things are happening here. One is I did my best to find a smart place to build this fire. There's never a completely safe place to do this. I picked this place because there's a couple tall trees surrounding it, which may do something to hide the smoke and the fire from a couple angles. Doesn't make it invisible. There's no foolproof way to do this, but it seems smarter than just doing it out in the open where anyone from any direction could see me. The cooking pot's damaged, and I don't want to put more wear and tear on it than I strictly need to, but it is also my only way to carry water, and the water that is in it is not it's not clean. It's not safe to drink yet. Boiling it, actually by now, it's 200 degrees Celsius. The water is actually safe to drink. Just like real life, it just needs to boil first. So that's good. I've got drinkable water now. Once this pot cools down, we're also cooking 4 pieces of chicken at once instead of just 1, and that happens really quickly. Cooking chicken piece by piece in the on a sharpened stick would take roughly 4 times as long as it just took us to cook this. We do want to get that plus sign and see if we can get the wet symbol away from our clothes. And we have our plus sign, so we're just going to wait another minute and hopefully our clothes and gear dries off. Okay, and that didn't take as long as I thought. I think maybe my hat was the only thing holding me back from being completely dry. So I wrung that out and we are all good. We have our plus sign. It won't last us till nighttime, but it's good to have now in case it starts raining again. Clothes are damp and not soaked or drenched or anything. Now is probably as good of a time as any to go over the gear that I have brought with me for this adventure. First, we'll go over the clothes that I'm wearing because it's top of the list here. I have my hunting jacket and my hunting pants. I've also got a radar cap. Got a ski mask as well. Same thing, just for extra warmth out here. The definition of shelter is not something that you live in. It's something that's sheltering you from the elements. And clothes are your first line of defense. I've got some fingerless gloves and my hunter boots. Last but not least, this is a rope belt. Not sure if everyone knows this. I didn't know this there was a long time that went by before I learned that I could actually just hold a rope in my hand and tie it to craft a rope belt. The only thing that I can really use the rope belt for, as you can see down here, is to hold my hunting knife. The canteen and the pistol holsters will not attach to it, but you can store a knife in it. So usually, in a perfect world, I would only need bones for fishing because I would have either, multiple knives on me or multiple sharpening stones. That's not the case here. So I'm going to be crafting fishing hooks out of these bones, I'm sure, but I also needed a stack of bones to make sure that I could craft another knife when my one knife goes ruined out here. Moving on to my actual inventory, I've got a double barrel shotgun. I'm not allowed to use the shotgun. It would help me survive, right? If I came out here with a gun, that deer that I've been listening to, I could just go follow those sounds and shoot the deer with my shotgun. I'm not going to do that. I don't think that's not exactly what I'm out here to do. I'm not necessarily trying to be a hunter, despite all my hunting clothes. What I'm trying to do is survive, and I feel like using the gun to shoot animals would be cheating because I could live out here indefinitely if I can go shoot deer. So, anyone who plays DayZ understands why I brought the shotgun. It's for self-defense, but I promise, and hopefully the footage, proves it as we go forward. I'm not going to use the shotgun for hunting or survival unless it's survival against some homicidal player who's out here trying to kill me. So yeah, besides the shotgun, we're out here with limited supplies. I've got 4 stacks of rags. The rags are all disinfected. So I did bring the compass. Again, not really planning on using it while I'm out here. I really hope I don't need it too much while I'm out here in the woods, just trying to survive. But I do have it. So yep, got a compass. So that's what I've brought. I left all my good stuff back at my normal base in a different woods, all buried and hopefully safe while I'm gone out here doing this. So it's looking like it's gonna rain again. In fact, do I hear rain? Rain's coming. And if last night is any indication, I am not well insulated enough to keep myself from going blue cold when I get wet. Ooh, we do like this though. This is very ideal. So we got 2 trees, 2 big trees, and then a third bonus tree, like giving us even more of an angle. If the game wants to let me build, set up an improvised shelter here, oh my gosh, and probably facing open mouth of the shelter, like right here, that's a good spot. That's a good spot. Alright, looks like the sun is getting ready to set on day 2. I'm going to hang out in this location at least for another day or 2. I want to get a shelter built, and then I figure once I get the shelter built, there's probably not too much reason to move on. We're not using that much energy. The arrows underneath the thirst meter and the food meter indicate how much energy we're using, or rather how quickly we're using the energy. And running is 2 arrows down, sprinting is 3 arrows down. Your default, if you're just sitting still and existing, is 1 arrow down, which is what we've spent most of our time doing. I've explored around this general area most of the day. I think we're gonna have to find another tree to hunker down in for the night, probably at my future shelter location. And of course, find someone's stash over here. They're probably coming back sometime soon, so even though I thought I was alone and safe out here, clearly not. So that's fine. We'll find a different place in the daytime. If I wasn't doing this adventure, of course I would probably take more time and see what was in that barrel and see what I wanted to take, but because we're out here surviving, I'm really not supposed to be taking loot. So, he can keep his stuff, whoever's stuff that is. I do want to saw off the shotgun, though. It was suggested to me that I should saw off the shotgun just for the aesthetics of coming out here. And I didn't find a hacksaw in my prep yesterday to come out here to the wilderness, but of course there's a hacksaw in the woods, so okay, I'm not supposed to loot. This isn't really going to help me survive. I just think it'll be cool, so we're going to saw off the shotgun. And now, instead of taking up 27 spots, only takes up 10. Still going to work just fine for self-defense. Less useful against animals, but I am not allowed to use it for hunting anyway. Okay, it's clearly dark now. I'm gonna log off and go eat. The first thing we're gonna have to do is, and I'm glad I didn't start building a shelter, we're gonna have to find a different place to go. No looting, no houses. We're gonna stay away from all the towns and stuff, but we're gonna have to go find somewhere else, and probably far away from here. I'm not sure if I'm still gonna use that lake as my main source of water, but if I do, we're still gonna have to go far away from it and maybe just make a longer trip back. So that's it for day 2. Of course, it ends with me finding a barrel of loot that I can't actually take. That person is very lucky that I'm filming this stuff right now. That's the first thunder that we've heard since this adventure began, so the rain's going to be worse this time. We're looking at a real storm, I think, not just a little bit of rain. Okay, I think somewhere right along here is going to be our spot. We've got a few trees to choose from, the right kind of trees that go all the way down to the ground. You might notice that I don't have a rope in my inventory, but I do have 2 ropes on me. We can actually craft 1 rope from our rags here, but we gotta use 2 stacks of rags. So that's why I have so many rags on me. You have to combine a stack of 6 rags with another stack of 6 rags. So I'm going to use my damage ones, get rid of those, and we're going to combine with another stack. And I get the prompt for a crafting rope. I think it's 4 short sticks, and the rope should get me my shelter kit. Now, the rain is kind of a nuisance, like as far as survival is concerned, but right now, when I'm doing stuff like this, building shelters, aka cutting down trees and making noise, I really like the rain. It provides a visual cover because it's darker out, but the noise is really nice. I think it's probably going to mask any of the noises I'm about to make here, hopefully.
DayZ can be really picky about where it lets you put your shelter kit. Make sure that the area you're choosing is on a flat surface and clear of any other objects.
Okay, the shelter kit is in place. I'm honestly a little worried because my temperature gauge has turned blue and I'm shivering, so I could easily catch a cold in weather like this. We'll see how it goes, but if I can get the shelter built in time, shelter should help with the temperature, so we're going to get started. First off is 4 long sticks, and we also need 50 short sticks. another downside of beating up our gloves to make the shelter is the more damaged they get, the less warmth that we're going to be able to get from them. So by the end of this, if they're not ruined, they'll be badly damaged, which is not good for our insulation. And I'm really hoping durability isn't too much of a worry out here. Like I said, the gloves are taking a beating. Looks like my boots are damaged as well. Again, I didn't count on that extra little hike it took to get here. Not a big deal. But damaged boots give less insulation than worn boots. So we're just trying to stay warm out here, and it's going to be an issue. Okay, I think we have all the sticks we need, and our gloves are badly damaged and not ruined, so that's actually pretty amazing. The shelter is just literally that. We're just using it for shelter from the cold and the rain. So it should serve our purposes just fine for this exercise. And I'm surprised our food and water isn't lower. I must have ate a big breakfast 2 days ago. Got these 4 pieces of chicken that we cooked. And I think I might ditch them somewhere because I would rather have not brought in any food anyway, and I needed to bring in the bones, so that's why we got the chickens. The chicken meat was kind of just a bonus that I probably could have left. So, yeah, you know what? Since we're talking about it, and it's not raining, let's go ditch the chicken. Let's drop the chicken in this tree. I do see the notification that we've got a server restart in 20 minutes was the most recent one. So I think that chicken will probably disappear with the server reset. If not, we're not coming back for it. So we are back from the server resets, and it's a beautiful thing. The reset does what it sounds like. All the trees that we cut down to make our shelter have respawned like it never happened at all. So that's good for 2 reasons. One is if we need sticks again, our stick supply has been replenished. But more important to me, because I'm paranoid and I've played this game a lot, is if someone were to walk through these woods right now, there wouldn't be a trail of cut down trees leading them right to us. Alright, so we came southeast to get to this spot, which means we just want to head northwest. It's going to be harder to find the shelter than it will be to find the lake, so going in this general direction, lake shouldn't be a problem. I'm just hoping we can get right back here to this shelter without too much trouble. I think we're getting kind of close. I'm gonna stop here and grab the long stick we're gonna need. Okay, and I'm not sure if I've ever shown fishing on my channel before. I fish all the time. I bet I put it in one of my videos, but just in case it's been a while or you haven't seen any of my other videos, or in case I didn't actually put it in any of my other videos, we're gonna do a little fishing. The first thing we want to do, our hunting knife doesn't have much life in it, but we're going to use it to dig up some worms. Oh, I got to use the knife to make the hooks. This knife is dead. Yep. Alright. I don't like this feeling. I don't like having a bone knife to survive with, but that is what I signed up for. So once you've got a bone hook and the bait, you combine them, get bone fishing bait. I grabbed the long stick on the way here. We're going to need to combine the long stick with a rope. I only have 2 stacks of rags left, which would mean I would have to use all of my rags if I wanted to make another rope. And I don't want to do that. So if the boots go, I am going to have to make improvised foot wrappings out of these rags. So I am not going to use the rags to make the rope. What I am going to do is show you why you bring a rope belt into the wilderness. We're going to untie the rope belt so that it's just rope again. And then we combine the rope with the long stick to make a simple fishing rod. We will put our bone fishing baits on the simple fishing rod, and now we're all set to fish. You know, I'm just remembering, it's been a long time since I've had to do it, but we're not completely screwed. I can make knives out of stones. I can make stone knives. Finding those little rocks is a pain in the ass, but we're gonna keep an eye out for them. Someone's out here. That sharpened stick isn't mine, and that meat definitely isn't mine. That looks like the clearing that we want, I hope. Okay, we got 2 rocks. With 2 rocks we can make a stone knife. Now who's the idiot for making all those bone hooks? Not me, because I've got another knife now, so we're fine. Ooh, we may need to eat before we find our shelter, actually. Yeah, we're losing health. It's okay. We brought the cooking stand for a reason. We're bleeding. Gloves aren't protecting us anymore. It's getting real out here finally. I gotta say, this is not really looking familiar to me, so as I suspected, it was going to be harder to find the shelter than it was to find that big-ass lake, but we're going to keep looking. I will recognize the area we were in once I get there, but that doesn't mean I recognize it if we're close to there.
So right around now, as I was getting more tired in real life and more annoyed that I was getting lost, I forgot that I was supposed to be talking into the microphone. But you're not missing much, just me running around trying to get my bearings. I eventually accept that we're going to starve to death before we get back to our shelter, so I decide to stop being stubborn and stop and make some food.
Yeah, something just exploded over there. If I had my blaze, I would probably go check it out, but we're just gonna pretend like we didn't hear that. And I don't think we're gonna find the shelter before the sun goes down today. Once it gets dark, I think we're gonna call it for the day and pick up day 4 tomorrow. Oh, Jesus. This always happens out here. Someone left their car. Found a barrel earlier. Alright, it's getting dark. And like I said, I've been playing for a lot of hours today, so we're gonna eat a little bit of fish so we don't lose health, and we're gonna log. Alright, and we are back. Start of day 4. Full disclosure, I just woke up today in real life, so I'm not quite sure how far into the day cycle we are here, but we had to start somewhere, and wherever we started would be the start of our 4th day. Still looking for our shelter, but we're gonna find it. I'm no longer worried that we're not gonna find the shelter because I've slept and eaten, and I'm well rested and remotivated. So first step is to find our shelter that we misplaced yesterday. I just saw a mushroom on the ground, which, man, someone's here, which is crazy to think. It's pretty early in the morning, at least in my time zone. But I have definitely not been on the server for 10 or 15 minutes or however long it takes for a mushroom to spawn. So that's just great. Someone's here. Or at least been around here at some point in recent history. I don't like to get too meta with things I've noticed in my hundreds of hours playing the game, but I just saw some screen tearing, and sometimes the screen tears when it's raining. Sometimes the screen tears when the sun is setting. Sometimes the screen tears when there's like a lake or water nearby. But if none of those things are happening, the screen will also tear if there's another player nearby. So just keep our ears and eyes open for any players. So yesterday, we had come this direction really far, and then we found a clearing, and then we went north along the tree line around the clearing. And I think I may have gotten screwed up yesterday and thought this was the clearing, but it's not big enough. It's a bigger clearing. So I think we're close, assuming that lake that we started from was the right lake. Ah, my memory's bad, but I think that barn building is the one that we had seen from our vantage point. And if it is, there should be like a hunting stand behind it. And if I can line up that hunting stand with the barn in a straight shot, behind that straight shot is where our shelter is. This is a ridiculous way to find it, but we are going to find it. Yep. This is looking good, everyone. There's the barn. There's the hunting stand. If I remember correctly, we were due southwest of that hunting stand. So just along this tree line. Dear God. I was so tired of looking for this shelter last night, so please let this be right. And there she is. Kind of a sight for sore eyes, but like I said, I was sure we were going to find it today. So, okay, back to home base. God, how bad are the boots? How bad are the boots? Still only damaged. The reason I'm fond of like hunting clothes, yeah, obviously I'm always talking about the insulation, and the rating is the best, but man, these boots, they're durable. We just walked like a full in-game day in like a big circle, like maybe two big circles to get here because we got lost. But here we are. And the boots, I believe, were already damaged, and they didn't go to badly damaged, which is almost unbelievable. But I'm gonna take it. We're not complaining about that one. And I do remember there was a hiking trail around here somewhere because I did get these rocks from somewhere. I didn't pull them out of my butt. I don't remember what direction those trails were though. But here's a pro tip: if you are looking for rocks, like I'm about to be, uh, they're not going to spawn out here in the woods. You'd think they would. Like in the real world, finding rocks is one of the easiest things you can do in most places, in where I live anyway. But in DayZ, if you're looking for a rock, very specific places are going to spawn rocks. Those hiking trails, I know I was on a hiking trail when I found the rocks that we found yesterday. Railroad tracks, that's the other place. I don't think I'm right by railroad tracks necessarily, but if you're walking railroad tracks, you're going to find rocks as well. Depending on how much of this footage makes it in the video too, you may have noticed that I like running up to big bushy trees and hanging out in them. I like being hidden if I need to do anything in my inventory or stop and think about what I'm saying or whatever the case may be. But also, we were playing yesterday, and in one of those trees we found a barrel, and then later we found the car. I have found crates, I have found plenty of barrels, I have found little tents, by doing this, by going up to groups of trees. I mean, look where I hid, our improvised shelter. It's in a group of trees. If you ran up to that group of trees to do your inventory stuff and hide in, there's a really good chance that that's where someone has hidden their stuff, if they've hidden it in those woods. So I found some cool stuff just by making it a habit of going to groups of trees and opening up my inventory, seeing what's there. And there's fruit here. I'm not used to seeing fruit out here in the woods, but that's pretty cool. So maybe depending on where you are, tree fruit is a viable option for food. But don't quote me on that. I don't even believe that as I'm saying it. I never see fruit in the woods, so no, don't count on it. But look at that, man. I mean, I know it's just a video game. I know, obviously, not only is none of this real, it's not even like the best looking video game out there. But everything we can see, we can go explore. It's all meant to be played. It's all meant to be used. None of it is a rendered image in the background that's just there to look cool. There's something really serene about it. I've spent some time in the woods myself in the last year or two. And there's just something so peaceful. And this is what I like about this game, and it's damn near impossible to explain to people who don't play it. And it's actually impossible to explain it to some people who do play it. But if you get any sense of satisfaction from going through an ordeal of, we were flashing hunger yesterday. I wasn't worried about it, and we weren't making a big deal about it, but we went from flashing hunger and being lost to finding our shelter and being completely fine on food. And if we are the kind of people who take any sort of satisfaction from that, and combine that with if we're the kind of people who think a view like this in a video game has any sort of value, this is the only game for us. I just pulled my gun out for the first time on this adventure because I thought I heard something, but honestly, it's really hard to tell. So, like I mentioned, I'm recording my microphone with the footage here, and that means that I can hear everything in real life like amplified in my headphones from the microphone. Now, I'm sure you guys are going to hear like some irritating background noises. My refrigerator's pretty loud. My neighbors are annoying. Where I live, honestly, like gunshots that you hear may not be coming from in-game. So I can't really differentiate what I'm hearing in my in my headphones, from in-game stuff like someone swapping something in and out of their inventory versus just a random noise happening in the real world around me. So I don't want to get lost again, but to be honest, I don't want to go back to that same lake that we were at yesterday. For one thing, I may have PTSD flashbacks of getting lost coming back here, but also it just seems risky. Returning to the same area multiple times, an area that I know there's players around, seems dumb. Just wandering back, that would be what, west? Going west through these woods again. I feel like this is someone else's stomping grounds too. We already established that, so why make myself a moving, obvious target going that way where there may be a player? So I think we're going to go north here. We're going to look for stones, and we're going to look for water. And if we don't find any within, a certain amount of time, we're just going to come back, due south. We're going to go due north. If we don't find what we're looking for, we just come back, because from here, we do know that we can get back to the lake we were at yesterday, even if it is risky. But risky lake is better than no lake. Let's see what's north. No, good, and it's raining. I almost said something about how it was a nice day when we loaded in. There's a town down there, which I want to avoid, partly because I'm not allowed to loot it, and partly because I'm not looking for any trouble. Don't want to get in a firefight with my 12 shotgun shells and sawed-off shotgun. But if that town is the one that I think it is, which it has to be, because I'm not completely ignorant to where we are on the map here, there's a river. And we will want to fish and get water from the river. Closed doors, a superstitious person would say. Closed doors might imply, holy shit, there's a chicken. We want the fish meat. We're gonna still fish and get water because that's important, but we want the bones. That's very good. That was a score that we weren't even looking for. I was looking for rocks, which I didn't have a whole lot of confidence we were going to be able to find. Yep, here's a river. Yeah, I thought we were going to find rocks that we could turn into a knife, but I'll tell you what. Any port in a storm will do. My gloves are ruined. They weren't protecting me from getting cut, but it does appear. I think they're protecting my hands from the blood. Oops, we don't want the chicken meat. We want the bones. So yeah, we're gonna leave the chicken meat and focus on the fish meat. I'm not sure if that's even remotely accurate to real life. I feel like in real life, if I'm trying to get calories and energy, I'd rather have a chicken than a fish. But that might be biased because in general, I would rather eat chicken than fish, regardless of surviving. And we're just trying to drink all this water because we're about to refill. And this has actually worked out nice. I was afraid that we were going to have to cook on sticks and preserve the cooking pot, but cooking pot's still only regular damaged. And we haven't been losing our thirst that much faster than our food. They've maintained at an even pace, so every time we've drank, we've needed to eat and vice versa. So we've been able to continue to be efficient and cook our meat and boil new water every time. I think it was raining yesterday when we were fishing too. But I think supposedly, in real life anyway, I have no idea about this game, but I think in real life, fishing during the rain is supposed to be more successful. And I think fishing in the morning too. So I wonder if both those things are true, does that mean that fishing in the morning in the rain is like the best possible fishing scenario you could have? Like that's the worst possible like life scenario you could have. That sounds like a miserable morning, but is that the best fishing you could possibly get? And that circle spins really slow for digging up a worm. You know, the rain is going to make it complicated to start a fire and cook this fish if it comes to that, but really I'm not worried about it. For one thing, you guys probably noticed I don't worry about too much out here. But also, we're not starving to death, so it's not that time sensitive that we cook this stuff. And if we're not going to go cold, then it's really not that big of a worry if we get a fire going right away. We'll survive. There's the wellies. I'm not even annoyed. I'm glad we got them finally. We're going to wring out our clothes. It's not raining, but it is becoming nighttime, and our boots are badly damaged. And as things get damaged, we lose the insulation. Ugh. It's dark. I should probably stop so I don't lose you guys. Alright, we are loading in to day 5. I was gone for like a little over an hour, so we missed the sunrise, but that's okay. It's raining, big surprise. So we do have to worry a little bit, or at least just watch our temperature gauge. Again, we're okay right now because it's not nighttime and it's not that cold. So just want to make sure that that's the case. We'll definitely be fine while we're moving around and running like this. That's definitely not going to be a problem. And then we're going to test it, but I'm hoping that our shelter will keep us warm as well once we get back to it. And we overshot our shelter a little bit, but I'm starting to get to know these woods. So we got down to those power lines and I realized we went too far south. And we're coming back. We'll be right there in just a second. It should be the next group of trees. So doing better on not getting completely lost out here. I guess we might as well get started cleaning these fish, and then we can ditch these gloves once we're done gutting. Alright, so fish are all cut up into fillets, ready to be cooked. We're not going to cook right next to the shelter, but I'm not trying to get lost in any way, shape, or form this time, so we're not going to go far. Knife is badly damaged. We're going to use it to ruin and grab as much bark as we can here. And I think we can ditch the gloves too. We don't have too much longer to be out here. Hopefully we won't have to gut and prepare any more animals. And we saw yesterday the gloves are no longer protecting my hands from cuts. So little to no reason to continue on with them at this point. Especially because they're drenched, they may be doing more harm than good. And we're in conserving rags territory, but we've still got 11 of them. I'm gonna cut myself getting sticks to start the fire for sure. But in the meantime, we're gonna preemptively make some feet wrappings. And when we go to cook, we're gonna use those instead of our boots. And just do our best to mitigate the wear and tear on the boots if we can. Alright, and we got away with getting our wood and not getting our hands cut up, so far so good. Now we just need to not die cooking the food. Did that door just open? Or was it open the whole time? That might have been like a visual bug. What the hell was that? I'm gonna have to review the footage on that one. Common sense tells me there's no one in there. I don't think anyone's in there. I think whatever I noticed there was like a visual bug. And just like a frame where it looked closed. If someone's in there, they would have come out by now. I'll just have to go back and take a look at the footage and just confirm that either I am crazy or I'm not crazy, but I swear the door looked closed and then looked open. I don't know what just happened. Yeah, it's not gonna let me ignite it. It felt too good to be true. It's alright, I don't feel safe in here anyways. I'm gonna go back to the trees. If we die now, it's not gonna be from starvation, I don't think. That gunshot sounded pretty close, actually. Closer than I like. No telling what someone was shooting at out here, like it could be hunting. The shot's gonna be louder than any of the animals, so if there was a deer far away, I might not hear it, but I could still hear the gunshot. We're gonna play it safe. I haven't heard a second shot. Whoever shot must have been shooting an animal. Still got another day to get through. We're gonna sit here and maybe we'll do a time lapse of the sun setting over this view. So temperature is becoming a problem. Clothes are damp because it's been raining. And put our boots on. Medium insulation is going to keep us warm, where the bad insulation from the improvised feet wrapping was making us cold. So, for now, it's an easy fix. Sun's coming up. Instead of it being completely pitch black, it's merely very difficult to see. Let's see if we can find our way back to the shelter because it's raining. Pretty good timing. Went from raining a little bit to downpour. But we're in the shelter, so our temperature actually has an arrow up, which is amazing. And we're not going to get drenched. And if it keeps on raining like this, it may be kind of tricky to tell when dawn happens and when the new day starts, but we've still got a little ways to go, I think. It's not full daytime yet. Still kind of hard to tell, but that pretty much looks like sunrise to me, so welcome to day 6. It's still raining. We're gonna continue to hang out in the shelter for a while. See if the rain lets up. See if we can get out there and do something. Not sure what we're gonna do today. We may go build a fire. Just for the aesthetics of being out here camping. Alright, weather's cleared up and the sun has come up for real. Let's get this day started. You can hear the wind, it's cold today. It's raining. And go back to the shelter and put the fire on hold for a second. The shelter is keeping us warm though. Just standing outside of it, we shiver. Inside the shelter, we're good. So this is perfect. We're going to wait here until it looks like it's cleared up enough that we can get a fire going and get the plus sign before it starts raining on us again and putting the fire out. Alright, it looks pretty sunny and clear out here. Let's try this fire thing again. Our feet wrapping, our improvised feet wrappings are badly damaged. I don't know how many trips across this field we have in us. A couple things here. One thing is nice about this fire is we're not cooking anything, so there's no time limit besides just getting warm. The other thing is, while it's this windy out here, you want to be smart about when you try to start your fire, because the wind will put it out. So if there's a gust of wind right when you're trying to do this hand drill, you'll fail. And then you've wasted your resources and you got to go back and get more bark and use your knife again and, waste your time again, especially if time is of the essence and you're cooking or you're starting a fire for cooking or for a specific reason. It's probably a set amount of time before you get the plus sign, but it always feels like it's the longest ever that it's ever taken every time I try to get it. Okay, mission accomplished. We got our plus symbol. Let's hope our improvised feet wrappings hold up. Running across this stupid field. You can kind of see here how much we really don't have to worry about hydration. If you look at the arrows, even though I'm eating, it's actually struggling to give me an up arrow because my hydration's as full as it can possibly go. And that works out really well too, because I'm planning on leaving this badly damaged cooking pot here in this improvised shelter. It's honestly really hard to tell what's happening right now. It's raining in real life and in the game. It's all coming through my headphones. I can't tell what's real rain and what's not. Well, I had a feeling we would end up having a day like this with our resources limited. Very limited now, and only one more day to go before we can head back to home territory. I don't see a point in going out there and being super active in this weather and then not being able to create a fire or repair any of my clothes for insulation or anything like that. So as long as it's going to keep thunderstorming and downpouring like this, we're staying put. We're going to do the smart thing for our survival and wait out the bad weather. It was kind of a dull day of hunkering down, conserving energy, conserving resources, and trying to weather out the storm. But the sun is definitely setting now in the west on our last night here. So I bet it is going to rain at some point overnight. Even if it doesn't, it's going to get cold. So we're gonna spend our last night in our improvised shelter. You know, there's a chance someone finds it and can use it, which is great. I think there's a better chance that it just stays here for 7 days and then despawns with the improvised shelter if nobody interacts with it. And that's fine with me too. But we are almost done. That sun is definitely setting. So we're going to watch the sunset one more time from our survival location. And then in the morning on day 7, we will get ready for a potentially risky and complicated trip back home. To the surprise of nobody, it is indeed raining. But we are in our shelter. We are all good. The sun is rising on day 7, which means we are almost free from this nightmare of being ungeared and stranded in the woods. I'm eating this fish. As you can see, I'm getting no up arrows on my energy, so eating the fish is pointless here. But that does mean that our vitals are as high as they can get, which is how we want to be starting off this journey. It's light enough to see, and I would say that we have gotten our money's worth from this location already. So I think it's time to get moving. So long, shelter. We're leaving behind 3 pieces of fish, 2 hooks, a stone, a fishing rod, one bone is kind of useless, and the cooking stand. I mean, honestly, this isn't horrible. Stuff's badly damaged, which isn't great, but this loot isn't horrible. If I stumbled across this setup out here, and I was hurting, this would be amazing. This could save someone's life. Again, I don't think anyone's going to find it, but I'd frankly rather have this stuff in this shelter than the Viga that I found in the barrel or the car or wherever I found it. I care about guns. Okay, that was huge. That might not look like a big deal, but I was able to swap out the ruined feet wrappings with fresh ones without needing a bandage to bandage myself. Which means I may have just bought us an extra pair of feet wrappings. That's a big deal.
Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of this survival adventure. If you made it all the way to the end of this, I really want to say thank you so much. I hope this was as fun for you to watch as it was fun for me to make. As always, thank you for watching, and stay safe out there.